Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us this afternoon in another session of Beyond Connections, our bi-weekly session where investors can ask their questions to us analysts. Hi, again, good afternoon. Thank you again. I am Rainier Yu, and I am joined by my fellow analysts. You guys can introduce yourselves.
I do the charts or one of the technical analysts for the My Trade Map on Facebook.
I'm Bess, one of the analysts for research covering banks, economy, and indices. And
Hi, I'm Herman. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, guys, so while we wait for the questions, I guess we can start right off with some of the corporate developments. I guess, Bess, would you want to go first?
yes, hot off the presses, early this morning, BPI started the third quarter earnings season by reporting their results. They reported a 26% growth in net income for the first 9 months of the year. But if we exclude the non-recurring gains that they experienced in 2022, the number is actually more impressive at 44% growth. And in the third quarter, this net income, meanwhile, grew at 33% growth. So this was driven mainly by loan growth for BPI, which was at 8%, 8.8% as of September. This was higher than the 7.2% growth for the industry, which is the latest number, which is August, as of August. And also, this is also driven by a continued expansion in the NIMs for BPI. Year on year, the NIM expanded by 54 basis points, but this translated into a net interest margin of 4.07 for the first 9 months of the year. So this is slightly lower than the 4.11% first half NIM that BPI experienced earlier this year. And if you look at the quarter-on-quarter increase or NIM expansion, this was much lower at just 5 basis points. So this was something that we anticipated when we did our earnings preview and also when we discussed the first half earnings of BPI, that the expansion will start to narrow beginning this third quarter, mainly because the BSP has already paused in their rate hikes, and also BPI is going to be the first one to feel the effect of this pause, since their loan book is mostly corporate loans which are tied to the very short term interest rates, and so are also the first to reprice. So meaning they already repriced to the higher rates in the previous quarters, and they're no longer experiencing as much repricing as the other banks in the second half of this year. So these are still very good results for BPI. That's why we are still quite positive for the sector as well as the stock itself. Although valuation-wise, we already see limited upside for the stock, and would rather have other banking stocks if you want to be exposed to the sector, which would be parang a defensive position to add to banking stocks in your portfolio. It would be a defensive position against higher or extended high interest rate environment. I spoke for a long time. Sorry. What other developments do you want to discuss?
Yeah.
While I wait for your questions.
All right, but although maybe you can show a chart of BPI before we go on to the next development, and maybe we can see a potential entry for BPI.
Are we bullish BPI? Can't say.
Can you show the chart?
Can you share the chart?
I start by so by scroll down. There you go.
Show the chart.
So there's a chart of BPI Oh. So it just happens to be trading right at the uptrend line. So if you were interested in the stock, it does appear to have a low risk entry here, as it's also trading near the 200-day MA at 107, but 107 pesos.
If you're a client already of MyTrade and you've been able to see some of our reports, I think it was discussed.
Okay, we're back and we're back. So the green line here is the 50-day MA. It appears to be close to, as Beth said, could be crossing. Beth, when did you say that it could cross? But
In about a month, if I remember correctly. Is that also your assessment?
it's it appears that way, yes.
So that's one thing that could also keep downward pressure for
Okay.
PPI, even though earnings results continue to be relatively strong.
Okay, thank you for that, IC. And I guess one of corporate developments as well in the past week, and we've seen one of the more volatile stocks in the past week. It's Figaro or FCG. Last Friday, they announced that they are planning to push for a FOO or a follow-on offering. So there are no details yet, and then they also mentioned that they are looking into possibly selling or looking for a outside investor for up to 20% of their company. So I guess not a lot of details were provided yet, but when these were provided to the public, I think a lot of hesitations given the uncertainty surrounding it. So that might have been one of the reasons why there was a sell-off last Monday and Friday. So it hasn't really been uh, much of a good news recently. Although we reserve our thoughts and comments on it until we hear more about the development. Then apart from that, last Monday they also disclosed their fiscal year earnings for 2023. Kasi so basically they released their second quarter 2023 calendar year. But I think the highlight there is they continue to open a lot more stores, leading to their quarterly system-wide sales and revenues to reach record high levels. So this is testament to their growth. However, the concern in second quarter 2023 is that their gross margins have dipped to close to 38%, where compared to a year ago, it was basically it was down 850 basis points year on year, and about 10% or 1,000 basis points quarter on quarter. Management attributed this to the higher raw material costs, and it's something to watch out for. But overall, the long-term outlook for FCG remains to be intact, especially with their rapid network expansion. Then, apart from that, they also disclosed that their IPO funds have been fully utilized. So, despite just listing last January 2022, and basically they finished up their IPO funds by October 2023, mainly because of their faster than expected network expansion, which is primarily driven by Angel's Pizza, and it has been strong. It's been driving the numbers, so it's one of the positive developments for um, FCG, and that's why they are looking into the FOO and the outside investor to raise more funds to drive their expansion moving forwards. So I guess, although we continue to be positive on their outlook, but our recommendation is pa rin to probably buy in tranches until we hear more about the capital raising activities, namely the FOO, especially the FOO. So I guess we can show a chart for energy.
So as probably everyone knows who's been watching FCG, there's some technical damage here. The 50 is below the 200-day. If you're a trend follower, possibly this key resistance is at 0.78 to get above. So for trend followers, probably to get above that level would be more bullish.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you for that, IC. I guess we can move on to the questions. First, we have from.
Hello, Beth. Hello, Maribel.
Okay,
And you
thank-
can scroll down further.
thank you
Hello,
for the
Reagan
greetings.
Yeager. And first question from RG.
Okay, ready na po ba ang Abacus broker platform for shorting? Or basically, my trade platform for shorting?
So that's one of the big developments over the past few weeks. The BSE is set to launch short selling on Monday. This comes quite quickly after the rules for short securities borrowing and lending were published by the BSE. So we will be offering short selling in our platform. However, I'm not sure if we will be doing it at the same time as the October 23 launch that's scheduled by the BSE. So there is still some regulatory requirements that we are working on. So abangan lang. But this will be available for our clients. Although this is this may be better discussed if you ask our customer service, but I don't think our retail clients will be able to put in the short orders themselves. You have to call our CS if you want to do the short trades. Although we will be coming out with a frequently asked questions document soon, which will address your concerns on your ability to do short trades and also to lend your shares if you're so inclined. So if you have further questions on the procedures and maybe advantages and disadvantages of shorting or anything about shorting, please feel free to post it here. Or if you're already a member of our My Trade communities on Facebook, post there and we can add that. We can address those questions to the fact that we are going to come up with in the next few days.
All right, thank you so much, Wes. I guess we can move on. Thank you for the question. Next question from CG. Thoughts on Converge, please.
Okay, so thank you for the question. We recently wrote an earnings preview for Converge for Q3. So basically, we expect net adds for the quarter to quicken from Q2, and this because of two factors actually. So first, average inflation for the quarter is slower than Q2, and then second, management said that they saw August as the strongest quarter in terms of sales. So because of this, we think there's a good chance that net adds for the quarter quicken compared to Q2. However, we also need to consider the composition of this net additional subscribers. Management has been seeing an increase in the net adds for prepaid, and this carries lower average revenue per user per month. So we expect their ARPUs to also continue its decline in Q3. So in summary, we expect the bottom line growth for Q3 to be somewhere in the low single digit growth. So siguro mga modest growth lang for the quarter. However, if we remove yung mga positive accounting adjustments nila, I estimate that Q3 should be lower by around 20% year on year, and this because of higher OPEX interest expenses. So in the sector, where our topic is still Globe because of the upcoming listing of Mint. However, if we were to choose between Converge and Tel, we still prefer Converge because uh, this is Converge is in Converge has the first mover advantage in terms of venturing into growth areas such as prepaid, while Tel is still in the exploration stage. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Herman, for Converge. I guess I see. You can show the chart.
As for the technicals on Converge, it's running into resistance at 1041. It probably needs to trade sideways a bit longer and allow for the 200-day moving average, which is the red moving average line at 1225 to catch up to the price. So probably more sideways price action for a sturdier bottom. That's it.
Okay, I guess that's more of a neutral,
Possibly.
neutral sentiment on the chart. So I guess we can move on to user on. What are your takes on nickel in chart and fundamentals? I guess he asked for charts first, so you have to go first. I see. Okay.
So nickel is trading below the 200-day, but I guess the bulls will want to see this no longer drop to the support level 551. Might be able to form a reverse head and shoulders, but that's still a long way away. So it's just basically sideways from here. So sideways to down, the bias.
Okay, thank you. I see. I guess that's for one of the newest member of the index. And on fundamentals.
For nickel, one of the things that we observed for index additions is that in the 6 to 12 months after they're added to the index, the stock usually underperforms. So that's something that will put downward pressure on the stock in the near term, near to medium term, and also nickel prices are down, and we expect nickel to have higher operating costs in Q3, so earnings may be weak. Um, this when it announces its earnings of this earnings season, that may also contribute to the downward pressure on the stock as well. But although over the very long term, we're still positive on nickel, especially if they spin off their uh, renewable energy subsidiary. So for the near to medium term, it's a little bit. We expect it to be a little bit weak.
Okay. Thank you for that, Bess. And hope that answers your question. So next, one of the hotter topics from
Uh,
user Relax Muna. SPNEC updates po.
Kailangan natin ng entire session. Okay, so for SPNX siguro, pinaka-importanting update is the entrance of Meralco. So, according to the recent disclosure, Meralco would invest under MG, no? Meralco would invest 15.7 billion to acquire new primary shares for on SPNX in SPNX. And then apart from this, they will also acquire preferred with voting interest. So in total, Meralco would be the biggest shareholder in terms of a voting interest. So I think that's the biggest development for the stock. And then the SPNIC is also planning to conduct an FOO. This would be by next year, and this to fund the pipeline projects of the company. And then going back to Meralco's 15.7 billion investment, this is also to fund the projects of SPNEC, and they hinted at a project that is um, with a capacity of around 3,500 megawatts and 4,000 megawatt hours. This is as big as the Terra Solar plant, which is a joint venture company or project between Arazon and Espinec. So we don't know yet if that partnership will push through, or if there will be a change in partner. So, um, and then recently we also wrote that we think there's a possibility that Espinec can fully own Terra Solar or a similar size project under a different name. And because we think this is a significant development, if correct, because we think this will more than offset the dilution from the increased number of shares. So there are no updates yet on when the suspension will be lifted. So, but the company said that they're scheduled to release a disclosure about it anytime soon. But one positive takeaway is that they scheduled a shareholders meeting on December 4th. That is 2 days after the deadline. So we think this is an indication that the company is confident that the suspension will be lifted. That's why they scheduled a shareholders meeting 2 days after the deadline. And I think marami pang pwedeng i-discuss dyan, but siguro depend na lang kami sa questions later on.
So put in more questions. So next, from Dead on the Rocks, what could be the initial impact of shorting and its long-term effect in the market? Okay. Initially, we don't expect much impact since mga mababa yung market in terms of how to actually do shorting. And since also limited lang yung stocks that can be shorted, so limited to the members of the PSE Dividend Yield Index and PSE Mid Cap Index, so about 53 stocks. Mga 1/5 of the total listed stocks. Although konti lang din yung active sa total listed stocks. And over the long term, this will probably have the effect will probably be that there will be more volatility on the stocks that will be available for shorting. So it would be there would be more risk, and at the same time more opportunity for those stocks. So we have yet we can, it's hard to tell what kind of liquidity effect we will have in the market. Depends on how much shares are available for shorting. So it depends on how much shares will be lent in the shorting market. By term. Any thoughts on that from you guys?
And I guess one of the objectives of shorting din kasi is, apart from drawing more liquidity, it's also price discovery. So I guess it puts a lot more emphasis as well. And when you hear about the earnings season, when you hear about the earnings of the company, whether they're outperforming or underperforming, it becomes I guess there's a lot more emphasis to it, that it will drive the price more, supposedly, when people tend to either long or short the stock.
For me, siguro, what's interesting with shorting is that this gives us another venue to earn in the market regardless of its direction. Kasi diba, currently, with absence of shorting, we can only earn when the market is going up or through dividends. But with the introduction of shorting, even if the market is on a decline, we can still apply our short views. So that should give us another venue to earn.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Dead on the Rocks. All right, okay, we can move on to the next question. Although I think I saw one question earlier from Mr. Robin Haka. Will the change in management of Dito make it an ideal stock to buy?
Ah, siguro hindi lang dapat tumingin dun sa change in management. No? I'm more interested with the plans of the new management. Especially with the very intense competition in the market. I think I saw an advertisement that Vico is offering a promo worth 99 pesos for 1 month. I have never seen its competitors do that. So I think this is just a temporary strategy to increase subscribers, but I don't think this will generate a reasonable revenues to create a positive bottom line. So more than the change in management, siguro I'm more interested with the plans moving forward. And then Dito is still far off from sustaining a positive bottom line. So and marami pang dapat tignan and hintayin for before Dito becomes an ideal stock to buy.
So will it be worth the wait?
Let's see.
And I guess we can move on to. I mean, we can show the chart for
To
Dito.
show a brief look at the chart. So some charts for the Titanatics. 50 days, almost going to cross above the 200-day MA. So this is what you've been waiting for. The cross. So it would indicate a primary reversal of the trend from a very long downtrend. So it's very speculative, that is.
I think it's close to a 3-year downtrend. Okay, so thank you for that, IC and Herman, on the takes on Dito. And I think we have time for one last question.
from
Okay, from
JR.
JR Noor. Thank you for the question. It's just a stock DNL. So for DNL, in terms of its fundamentals, well, this year hasn't really been an ideal year for DNL, but it's I can say it's a monumental year because they have launched their new Batangas plant, which is likely to drive their company much faster moving forward. So we do expect its top line and bottom line to continue uh, on an upward trajectory moving forward, especially if they are able to utilize or fully utilize their new plant. Because a new plant that's pretty big, so it's close to I think maybe times two, times three of their current plant. So this one will really step up their export market. So they are looking into that. Although for the near to probably medium term, volumes volumes aren't likely to be strong, given the weaker global sentiment or even global declines that we may see in the coming months. So it hasn't really been a strong year for DNL so far. So Q3 as well, we we're most likely gonna see some volumes to be near to how it was in Q2, and that we might see some declines, but if you compare it year on year compared to last year. So for DNL, it remains to be a long-term play, and we think the wait will be beneficial and it will reward, especially they also provide dividends. I think it's payout or the yield is close to 3 to 4%. I guess we can show the chart for DNL.
Okay. Okay, so DNL trading near the support level at 644. Not much. Still trading down in this channel. It's just channel. So if you're bullish, sorry. trading down in this channel. I just want to see it break above it, this channel, and then hopefully bottom out in the support level at 644. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Although to add din pala for TNL, this year kasi they have seen higher OPEX because of the expansion plan, drawing more expenses. So yun, practically ano pa rin naman. I guess for those investors, it might take time for the stock to see some traction, given the subpar earnings for this year. Okay. I think we have time for one more question, or you can wrap it up?
That was the last.
Okay, so sorry guys.
Last time.
One pa? Last one pa?
Okay, we ran out of time. So sorry guys. For those yung mga additional questions, you can naman.
Post them on map.
Yeah, you can post them on the map for our clients, and then for those who have not yet opened an account with MyTrade, maybe this is the time for you to open an account, and so you can post as many questions as you want in our groups. So I think that's all for today, and I hope it has been a productive session, and I hope to see you guys in November. Yes, close to Christmas. So thank you guys, and have a great week ahead and weekend.
Nakamute yan ah.
Sige.
Baba konti.
Hindi tayo nakamit.
It's okay. It's okay.
Ano? Something about TV.
Sa baba.